Hey guys, so we're finally back. So we just got done with the final of the women's 100 meters hurdles. It was very exciting. I enjoyed every bit of it, and to see the veterans Nia Ali as well as Kenny Harrison battle it out to almost make it, it was amazing. But now we're almost to the closing of the trials on my channel. This will be the wrap up today of the entire rest of the events. So we're kicking things off super early. So we're looking at Anna Hall. She did the Heptathlon. So this is day one. We're gonna cover day one, and then we're gonna cover day two when she makes the team. And then we're start jumping into the men's 400 meters round one, semis, and then finals. And then the last thing we're going to be covering later on is Sydney McLaughlin-Laroni, as well as Anna Cockrell and Delilah Muhammad for the women's 400 meters hurdles. And we will close out with a big ceremony ending. And then we're going to start switching our mindset for tomorrow, which will start a new event on content on my channel. So I can't wait to do that. Alright, so let's continue. Now before we continue, so Anna Hall, these are the women's heptathlons. Anna Hall, so it goes by points. So it's a bit different. The cool thing I learned is that she trains her coaches Jackie Joyner Kersee. So that name is very synonymous, because if you know Bobby Kersee, he's the one that trains Allison Felix, as well as now Sydney McLaughlin. Now I mentioned before that Anna Hall is very interesting to me, because when I look at an ultimate athlete, I look at the decathlon or the heptathlon, because you're doing multiple events with a day of back-to-back events, and I think that's pretty cool. And then overall you will get a points. I think that's like the pinnacle of athleticism, because you're doing all the events that other people are focusing on, and from there you will go on these. It's basically like a hunt, and I think that's interesting. So we're gonna watch Anna Hall for her first day, and then we will start covering the rest of the events. Okay guys, let's go.
Competition and all eyes on Anna Hall.
All right now.
Yeah, and it was a matter of which kind of Anna Hall were we going to see. She's been so on fire
So she
for
did
the
the
last couple of
hurdles.
seasons. She started off with, we're running the 100-meter hurdles here.
Wow.
She dealt with a nagging injury from those World Championships last summer. It carried on through the winter, had surgery in January, and she's just now starting to find that speed.
And that's pretty cool he's mentioning that, but at the same time, let me explain this. The fact that athletes like the heptathlon or decathlon are interesting is because you're basically perfect at everything. You're like an all-around. Like when I think of an all-around athlete, I really think of decathlon, like those type of athletes. I'm thinking about them, because you got to do every other event that everybody else is focusing on. So you have to have stamina to do things like that.
That makes her such a dangerous heptathlete. One of Jackie Joyner Kersee's.
You see what I mentioned? She's trained by Jackie Joyner Kersee, which is insane, and she's a legend.
Favorites, and this is one of the events where it's really going to put a test on that knee. We saw in Budapest, this is where it really flared up. It's her takeoff leg, that left foot getting down, and that is a heck of a jump right now for Anna Hall. She started off this competition with back-to-back seasons best, and we expect that from her over the course of this competition. All the adrenaline, this Hayward magic, everything propelling her to the best that she's done so far this season.
Deadly women's heptathlon, the third of four disciplines, was the shot put. Anna Hall just kind of working her way through this first day.
Okay. Shoot.
Event by event, this was a really solid effort right here. You know, you're not going to win the heptathlon in one singular event, but you can perform poorly enough to lose it. But Anna does just enough. She's on pace to be in a good position tomorrow to run for it.
And then how about the Idaho native, Shari Hawkins, a lifetime best to take the lead after 3 events.
Nice.
Over a foot personal best. It's exactly what you want. You want to keep that momentum going into the final.
So basically top 3 overall qualifying for Paris without Olympic standard or world ranking. That is so cool. That is so cool. So let's see what the women's heptathlon, decathlon 200 meters is gonna look like.
Event of the day here, Paul.
So she's doing the 200.
There's a look at the 23-year-old Anna Hall from Greenwood Village, Colorado. Heptathlon medalist in each of the last 2 world championships. Bronze here in Hayward Field in 2022, and then the silver medal in 2023. A lot of hype about her potential coming into Paris, but that road...
And like I mentioned before, she reminds me so much of Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni. It's not because of the skin tone or anything. It's because of the mental attitude. It seems like Bobby and Jackie Joyner-Kersee struck gold because they have athletes that are the same but train for completely opposite reasons, which is insane. And like I mentioned before, when you see an athlete work super hard to get to the pinnacle of their sports and then to overly compete, it's an insane thing.
With a little bit of a trip through the hospital ward.
Yeah, en route to winning that silver in Budapest, suffered a little bit of an injury. They trained through it. The fall was going well, and then all of a sudden in January they kind of made that ultimate decision. We need to take care of this right now. And basically Anna asking the doctors and physiotherapists every day, okay, what can I get away with? How much can I train? How hard can I train? And she's done absolutely everything she could possibly do to be ready for this day.
13 months ago, she had her lifetime best in the heptathlon, making her number 2 all-time on the U.S. list, only behind one of the spectators.
Yes, there she is. So like I tell you guys, Jackie Joyner-Kersee is a beast. She is a 6-time Olympic medalist. And the crazy part is, if I'm not mistaken, she ran at the 1988 Olympics, which featured Flojo, which is the world record holder for the 100 and 200.
In this case, JJK is here.
And I know that, I'm a fan, you're a fan, I'm sure her family loves her so much, but no one is a bigger fan of Anna Hall than JJK.
And Trey, we talked about this a little bit yesterday in the context of Ryan Krauser in his first outdoor event of the season, just trying to get himself through the competition to have a little bit more time to regroup. You see a warning here as they'll... Eric Marsh there getting the card, but she will remain in the competition. But, Anna just... really the goal here, make the team and have that extra time to be in a position to do what many thought coming out of Budapest she would have a good shot at the gold medal in Paris.
Yeah, you can't put a price on what that extra time is going to provide her. And just relief. Sometimes, we say...
I think what's good, what they made the schedule for this Olympics, especially the trials, was that students as well as NCAA and professionals, after they finished training super early for the trials, they got an amount of, I say, 26 or 20 days at least to get ready, like for Paris. Paris is in the 26th of the month of July, so it's rapidly coming up. So by next week and the week coming after, the games will begin. So it's gonna be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to see what's going to be happening as Anna Hall gets ready to do her first day race of the 200. I can't wait to see what she's gonna be able to do when she gets to the semis and the final, which I think all happens in one day. So after this video, we'll cover her semis and finals, and then we'll start jumping into the men's 400 hurdles. Okay, so let's see.
It's harder to make this team than it is to perform well at the Olympic Games.
So settle back in the blocks here. You see the vacant lane 5. That was to be Annie Kuntz. Second section, women's heptathlon, 200 meters.
All right, 200.
Keep on, Anna Hall out in lane number 9. She's not got
all right, Anna.
Here, knowing where the rest of the field is. Couple lanes inside.
All right.
Bender and then Aaron Marsh. We got that warning on the inside again. They're racing against the clock. It's about to score. Now emerging on the outside is Anna Hall. This will be a good way to end the first day of competition as she
23:90
to get on Team USA for Paris as we await the mark. 23:90. That'll be good for 990 points and a first day total, Trey.
So when you think about the heptathlon, they're not going for times most precisely. They're looking for more points. The faster you go, the more points you will get. And the fact that she finished first, that would mean that she gets a certain amount of points. So when they add all the points up, you basically make the team. So I think that's a pretty cool way of thinking of it.
$1,884 points.
Another season's best for Anna Hall today. As it looks to me, got through the day unscathed. You can see the determination. Closing out the day, staying tall, keeping those arms moving. You mentioned she was running blind, had no idea where anybody else was. Nobody cheering louder.
Nice.
Well, maybe Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Yeah, I think actually she is. She's absolutely cheering her all the way down, and there's a little, here it is, day one's in the books.
Nice.
Well, she calls herself a self-described goofball and enjoying herself here as she gets through the first day. And let's get down to Lewis.
Thanks very much. So Anna, give us some thoughts on this journey back through injuries and now back in the Olympic trials and the first day of this heptathlon.
Yeah, this year's been really hard, honestly. I feel like I've just been clawing my way back, kind of fighting with my body. But I'm just really proud that I'm here, trying to stack together SBs. So anytime I see that on the board, I'm just trying to celebrate it, even if it's not my absolute best. So just challenging myself in that way. But just happy to be here.
SBs being season's best. And so how will you try and recover tonight? And then what are you expecting that you can deliver to get yourself to the Paris Olympics tomorrow?
Yeah, tonight I'm going to go see my physios, take an ice bath, lots of dinner, and lots of sleep. And then tomorrow I'm just going to come out and keep challenging myself to have fun and see if I can't come out with a win.
Alrighty, have a good evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow, Anna.
Thank you.
So we're going to stop it here. So like I said, thank you guys so much. This was an interesting dynamic, even though I didn't do too much crazy reaction. But I think what was important to understand that besides her coach, which is Jackie Joyner Kersey, training her on, she had a lot of difficulty mentally and physically that she had to combine those two things to get back on this team. I think, like I mentioned in previous videos, your spot is never guaranteed. That's what makes the Olympic trials so gut-wrenching, because you could try your hardest and still not make the team, and you could run the fastest PB and then somebody runs a personal best or a new personal best just from having the pressure of the trials on their backs, especially if they're coming in as the favorite. I tend to see athletes that tend to be the favorite have a lot of more pressure on their back than usual. So like I said, this was a very interesting race, and it was a very executed heptathlon. So like I said, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye.